International Women's History Month. At the Prospector Podcast, we're celebrating it by putting the spotlight on women in journalism. Joining us today is Paige Wood, who has done sidelines for UTEP football and basketball. She's also a golf athlete at the University of Texas at El Paso. We talked to Paige about her sideline broadcasting journey and what she wants to do next. After that, Sofia Sierra, the EIC of Minero Magazine, is joining the table to discuss her journey in journalism, her multiple internships, and a sneak peek over Minero Magazine. And after that, we talk to our boss, Ximena Cordero, who returns to the Prospector Podcast yet again and fills us in on her journey. Co-hosting today is Adrian Gonzalez Jr., who is making his co-hosting debut for the entirety of one episode. My name is Sebastian Perez-Navarro. Thank you for joining us on the Prospector Podcast, episode 3 of season 14. We're rolling right along. It's episode 3 of season 14 of the Prospector Podcast, the first one in March. And today, we're celebrating women in journalism, and we have a very special guest with us. That is none other than Paige Wood, a golf athlete, a sideline reporter, and even dabbling in color commentary. Welcome to the Prospector Podcast, Paige.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I'm really glad I got to tag along with you in that color commentary there. But I don't know if I was up to your standards, but I definitely tried my best.
Paige, you did a great job. It was an honor sharing the booth with you. Alongside us is Adrian Gonzalez Jr. Adrian, 3 episodes in, 3rd appearance.
Yeah, no, this time around, no more curly hair. I gave it up, I'm sorry.
Why did you cut your hair?
Start again. Start over.
Something new, something fresh?
Yeah, you know.
Well, if we could get a zoom in on his glasses real quick. If you notice, Adrian,
glasses.
he has new specs, and those can record.
Yeah, don't worry, you're not getting filmed.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, how do we know?
It'll be flashing a light right here.
Okay.
I'm not like the guy on TikTok.
UTEP Freddy?
Yes, UTEP Freddy.
Is that who we're talking about? Okay, well, that's a throwback. Anyways, let's circle into the main discussion, and that is you, Paige, your first and last year at UTEP. You came in part of the golf team. You were hired by MinerVision. You've done sidelines. You've done broadcasting. How has it been your first and last year as a UTEP Miner?
It's incredible, and it's all bittersweet and amazing all in one moment. It's hard to wrap it up into words what this year has been. For me, honestly, as an athlete, as a reporter, as a student, it's been one of the best experiences of my career. Everybody has been absolutely wonderful to work with, and I'm so fortunate that I get to be alongside people like yourselves as well and do fun things outside of school and being on the golf course. I'm really grateful for the entire year, but I don't really want it to end yet. I'm really not ready. I can't believe it's already, you guys were talking about midterms, and I'm thinking, oh no, we're already there. How's it going by so fast? But I've really, really enjoyed it.
Midterms are evil.
Yeah, they're very cannot stand that.
I only have a couple. I've only got a couple.
So just for some context, why did you come to UTEP? How did you learn about MinerVision, get that job, and what are you studying?
Yeah, I'll start with the studying part. I'm currently getting a graduate certificate in leadership. I actually didn't really want as much school anymore after I had studied with 2 degrees and a minor in my other university, so I was kind of schooled out. I wanted a little bit of an easier route there. So now I'm able to do all my courses online, which has been really helpful for my position in MinerVision. So I've been able to work with the live broadcast there, work with Ben, work with you, work with Benji, everybody, Andy, Bobby, so many great people, and I'm probably leaving a lot of names out I've been very fortunate enough to work with them, and it's just been one of the best things ever. I actually got recruited to come here because the NCAA released a new rule that if you played NAIA or JUCO, you got 1 year of eligibility to play in the NCAA division. So since I played at an NAIA university, Oklahoma City University, Coach Sims reached out and said, hey, would you like to come here for a year? We have a spot. And I said, well, yes, but only if there's an opportunity for me to continue to advance my career in broadcasting. So fortunately enough, the timing was perfect, and I got to meet with Paul and so many of the great people that are in MinerVision and was able to get the spot to become a sideline reporter, and it has been the most fun thing ever.
So, Paige, you were the host of Miner Minute for the UTEP Athletics.
Yes.
You got to interview a bunch of football players. Did you find it that they opened up more to you after they found out, oh, this girl's also a D1 athlete. She probably goes through what I go through as well?
Yeah, that's a great question because I feel as an athlete, I've been interviewed before, and so I've been in that position where you don't really know what they're going to ask you. You're not sure who's out to get you. We're trying to get information on injuries or updates that maybe you don't want people to know. So I would say as a journalist and as a sideline reporter, I have an obligation to an audience anyways. But I'm also trying to respect the athlete in itself. So I would definitely say yes. As I got to know them and they got to see me more frequently, whether it was just in the weight room as an athlete working out, we usually had the same workouts sometimes during the same time of the day. So seeing them around a little bit more, making some friendships, being able to have conversations outside of the reporting life, if you will, I think it really helped build trust with some of them. I was able to have great communication, know a couple things that maybe, the fans watching the game wouldn't know, which is really hard to do sometimes because me coming in new, I'm only here for a year. They had every right to not trust me, and they had every right to be skeptical and wonder, okay, what is this girl really about? What is she really here to do? But I'm really fortunate that I was able to build such a good relationship with so many of them, and I'm really bummed because I was excited to see the comeback for like Cam Thomas, and I'm like, I'm not even going to be here. So, bittersweet things like that where I get to see athletes go through those things, but also make a comeback, and I'll just maybe be able to watch it from afar. We'll see if I end up staying here, but definitely helps for sure.
If you've watched UTEP football or basketball, you know who Paige Wood is. If you've been keeping up with UTEP women's golf, you know who Paige Wood is. And if you even tune into 600 ESPN El Paso's Football Friday night, you know who Paige Wood is. Paige, your resume speaks for itself, but how did you start your career in sports broadcasting?
Thank you. I mean, that's such a nice hype up there. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Episode over, right?
It's like Bruce Buffer right here, man.
This is like the nicest. You're like a certified hype man now. I am so excited that I was able to get started at such a small school, because coming here I found that it's such a different level of operation in every aspect. It's a lot higher, there's a lot more moving parts going on, and so in my undergrad I went to a school where we had one play-by-play guy, and as you know, as a color commentator and play-by-play, it's tough only having one person really running everything. So I was able to really go to my athletic director and my head of communications department, and I came up with the idea because I was studying communications at the time, and I thought, well, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't really like math. I don't really like science. I'm going to pick a very broad interest and just hopefully it works out. So it wasn't until my junior year that I really found a disconnect between athletes and their stories not being told. So I went to our athletic director and our head of communications and said, I want to be a sideline reporter. How can I do this? How can I make this happen? And so I'm really, really just grateful, honestly, is the best word I can always use, because they said, whatever you need, you let us know. We'll get you a ring light. We'll get you a tripod, mini mics, whatever.
So you got all your equipment for free?
No, they only got me a ring light.
Okay.
I ordered my tripod and my mics. I'm still grateful that they even got me the ring light. But I did do a lot of work on the outside to try to make it a thing. I branded it, called it Mac Chat. I couldn't tell if the athletes were making fun of me or if they were buying into it, because I would see them around the hallways and they were, hey, what's up, Mac Chat? And I was like, I don't know if they're making fun of me or if they're just buying into this whole sports broadcasting idea that I'm trying to put out. But I'm so fortunate that they eventually bought into it. They still reach out to me and call me Mac Chat, which is just so fun. It's a little tidbit there of my history. So really I got into it through that. I just decided I want to go for it. These athletes are amazing. Their stories aren't being told, and I want to find a way to do it. So I'm very, very, very grateful that I went to such a small university with so much space and room for growth.
So, Sebastian, you mentioned that she's also a golfer.
She is.
Well, before she was a golfer, did you do anything else before golf, Paige?
I did. I was a gymnast before I was a golfer. Yeah.
What made
you... Sorry to interrupt you, Adrian. Gymnasts are some of the craziest athletes you'll ever meet.
I know.
That's insane.
I'm biased. I am very biased, but I agree. I think they're the strongest pound for pound. I think they're the most flexible. They need the most agility. I'm with you, Sebastian.
So what made you give up being a gymnast and becoming a golfer and a reporter?
Honestly, burnout. And it's unfortunate because a lot of athletes go through it. It's tough to go through burnout at such a young age. I started around, let me think, I was in 5th grade, so quite a young gymnast there whenever I started. I caught up very quickly, loved it, spent hours in the gym. They actually wanted me to homeschool at one point because they realized how quickly I was able to catch up, and they thought, well, if we can keep her here more hours in a day, then she can keep going and progressing, which is great because you always, as a coach, you want to see your athletes thrive and be the best that they can. But as an 8-year-old, I was getting stomach aches every night because I was so stressed, and I didn't know any better because I was 8. I couldn't even, I was like, what's stress? I'm going to recess. Like, you guys have fun with whatever that word is. So I eventually realized that it was just burnout. And so I thought, well, I want to play a sport that nobody else is. And a lot of my friends were in dance and cheer and playing, just any other sport other than golf. And so I thought, I want to play a sport that's a little bit less stressful. And I didn't know that it was not going to be less stressful. I mean, this sport is probably more mentally draining than gymnastics was. And that is a physically difficult sport. It's mentally tough because you get through blocks and you think, I can't do my back handspring. And you're in this, we would always call it mental blocking for months at a time. And then finally you would just snap out of it. But golf, that's a grind. I mean, I thought, I'm going to pick the easy one. I had no idea. It's one of the hardest sports, but I've loved every day of it and it's gotten me really far, which is why I'm here today. So.
Well, it's paid off not only for you, but for UTEP. This 2026 semester, UTEP women's golf clinched their first tournament since 2019.
Yes.
So a huge congratulations to you and the entire women's golf.
Thank you. I'm just grateful for my teammates because they're the ones that really got it done. They played so great. So many young girls that are just amazing. So it's very fun having them as teammates.
You studied for 4 years in Oklahoma City.
Yes.
One of the little known facts about you is that you studied Spanish.
Yes.
Then you came to El Paso, a place that a lot of people predominantly speak Spanish. What's that experience of living in this city been like for you?
It's a lot of fun, actually. Also because most of the time whenever I speak Spanish, people don't expect it. I have bright blonde hair, light blue eyes. I mean, it's just something that I love to do, though, because a lot of people never expect it. So I'll start speaking, and then they say, where are you from? Hold on. You don't look like you speak Spanish. And I'm very fortunate living in Mexico, actually, for a month in Oaxaca. I ran into so many people that would say, oh no, you're from Argentina or you're from Spain, right? And I would say, no, I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas girl, so I do speak Spanish, and it's been one of my favorite things to do outside of golf and reporting. Honestly, it became a hobby that turned into a part of my education. Yeah, it's been great.
Sebastian stole my question, man.
I didn't look at his notes. Adrian, do you want to show us your notes again? Flex your notes. Zoom in on Adrian's notes. Lit 2 in a row. 2 episodes in a row. If only you studied that hard for comm theory, man.
Ooh.
Dr. Perez, sorry for that terrible.
I gave you a study guide.
I'll look at it when I get to it, all right? We have Paige Wood on the podcast, man. That's second, all right?
You're great.
Okay. They'll get there when they get there, all right? So, Paige, what is something that you've caught on El Paso that is different from where you were before in Oklahoma City?
That's a good question. As far as people or
just in general?
In general.
Just in general.
It's such a huge transition because I went to such a small school, and Oklahoma is generally known as a state that just has cows and grass in it. But actually being in the city, it had a lot to offer. And so I would say coming from a very, very small school to a much larger one in a city that has even more to offer than Oklahoma City did, I would say that's been one of the biggest and best transitions, is my ability to bounce around from different organizations in sports and have access and opening arms. A lot of people have their arms wide open, no, come and join us, come and do this with us. And I would say that's one of the biggest differences, is the city is very connected. The people really know the people. Everybody seems like they're friends, everybody gets along. And so for me, Oklahoma City it had a community to it, and it had friendships and relationships, but the city as a whole wasn't so revolved around our university. So coming here and hearing what these fans have to say about, we're not going to get into the season yet, but hearing what the fans have to say about some of the sports and the seasons and how the way the games are played, they really, really care about it. And so that's been a huge difference for me, is coming from university where sports weren't really looked at or noticed, but here, that's what this town is all about, it seems like, is at least from my perspective, being a sideline reporter. I'm only speaking for that half, but that's been the biggest difference, I would say.
You just wrapped up the basketball season. You also sideline reported for football games. Yeah. Out of all of those games, which one has been your favorite experience?
Oh, that's a good question. I take every game like it's my last. I really do treat it okay, this is the last one. I have to put everything I have into it. One of my favorites was the NMSU rivalry football game, and basketball as well. I'll get to basketball in a second, but the football game was something different. It was special to me. My parents actually came in town for that one. That was, that game, I don't know if you guys got to see it. Go back and watch it if you get the chance, because I was on the sidelines, and as a reporter, I'm not supposed to have emotion or be outwardly rooting for one team. I'm supposed to be covering the game in itself. But I was over there like, I mean, I was screaming. I had emotion. I was so invested in that game. And so that was one of my favorites to cover, especially because of how close it was towards the end. And same with men's basketball the other week. I mean, we had that rivalry game that it's just electrifying. And I can't even put it into any other words other than electrifying, because those games were some of my favorite. They were some of my most fun interviews, and both teams were equally fun to work with. Both teams had great games that I wish I could do it all over again, because it was just so much fun.
Well, you shared that experience with Adrian. He also got to cover the Battle of the I-10.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah, I was told, like, when I got the credential, hey, you're not supposed to show any emotion, not supposed to show who you root for. And I'm like, when I saw that catch that Kenny Odom
got, yep.
So shout out Kenny Odom.
It replays in my brain. I still think about it, and I'm like, I mean, I could never do that. Like,
I was gonna say,
pure athleticism, pure perfect timing. It was like a Kasim Watson 3. I'm like, yep, that's what we needed. Like, it was just, that's what I've always seen in UTEP sports, is just that perfect timing that they find a way to execute it. So I'm glad you got to see that one too.
I was gonna say, shout out Kenny Odom. We wish you the best of luck at UCF, man. I think that's where he's going, right?
Yeah.
We'll fact check that. Research.
Hey,
I caught him off guard.
It's midterm season.
The impossible has happened.
Listen, it's midterm season. I had a game on Tuesday.
He is human, guys. He is human.
We'll put it here. This is where he wants. That's the school. Anyways, before we ask the final question, here's Paige Wood's X. Here's her LinkedIn, and that's where you can follow Paige Wood. Anyways, Paige, it's your last semester at UTEP. What's next for you?
I wish I knew. I really do.
That's the college mentality.
I know, and as a young adult, I'm going through what I think a lot of people are, trying to figure out the job. The market's crazy. The sports jobs are crazy. So I have a couple of things lined up that I'm looking at right now. I won't really say that, I won't put them out there yet, but I am definitely looking to continue to keep working in sports broadcasting and hopefully advance my career and just continue to do what I love, which is being at games, 12-hour game days. Like, that's all I really want to do after school, is just be with a team, be with an organization, or be with some type of outlet that I can continue to do what I love. So that's the plan. We'll see exactly where it takes me, what state, where, but yeah, that's my goal.
All right, Paige, my last question is, if you could sit down for an interview one-on-one with any athlete out there, who are you picking and why?
Okay.
Paige Wood.
Paige Wood's interviews Paige Wood.
That's so, you guys really brought the tough ones today. Man, I didn't even bring my working brain here. I'm running through all the athletes I've always wanted to interview.
Past or present, does not matter.
I would say probably from a perspective of being half Canadian and growing up watching hockey, Wayne Gretzky would be awesome, because he's such a name. I mean, even if you don't really watch a lot of hockey, a lot of people still know the number 99 is his. So I would say Wayne Gretzky would be awesome. He's also one of my dad's favorites. So Wayne Gretzky, I would say maybe I would throw in a famous gymnast in there, because same reason. And probably either Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby, who also play in the NHL. Love them. Great athletes. And they're superstars. They're awesome. They seem like great people. So either one of those two as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't watch hockey that much, but I do know the names Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid, yeah. Yep.
Those are really awesome.
They're
names.
Great. They're great. So definitely those would be my options.
Paige, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching the Prospector Podcast, episode 3 of season 14. March is National Women's History Month, and today we're putting the spotlight on women in journalism. Both of our EICs from Minero Magazine and the Prospector are coming up next to talk about their journeys. Stay tuned. You're watching the Prospector Podcast. We are rolling along through episode number 3 of season 14 of the Prospector Podcast. And in this episode, we have a familiar face. The former one-year sports editor and now editor-in-chief of Minero Magazine, Sofia Sierra. Sofia, welcome back to the Prospector Podcast and to the Prospector.
Hello. Thank you for my podcast debut. I appreciate it.
Well, it's not your podcast debut. You were already on this episode and that episode. And I forget what other episodes. Were you with Adam as well? Adam Regalado, a former multimedia editor?
I was not with Adam Regalado.
At all in any episode? No, you were in one. Yeah.
Not that I recall.
Back when, Adrian, this is like before your times.
Prehistoric times.
Whoa.
This is like when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
I know.
No, that was when Sofia was the web and copy editor. That was when dinosaurs roamed the
He
earth.
took your job.
Man, I used to be all up in Prosby.
That's a fade, man.
Well, Ximena also took, EIC. My meta glasses just got. Oh my gosh, hold on, man.
What happened?
They just got activated by saying her name.
So what? They text her now?
No.
How do those work? What? So you're on the bathroom and like your meta glasses are just gonna text someone?
No.
Or what? What if your meta glasses accidentally record when you're in the bathroom?
Next question.
Have you been scared of that? That's what's stopping me from getting them. Plus the price. But like, yeah, you're in the bathroom and your meta glasses just start recording.
No, they don't activate unless I activate her, which unfortunately I do by saying.
Her? You're calling your glasses a her? Or are you talking about
Whatever it wants
Ximena?
to be, man.
Ximena's here. I don't know if we can get Ximena on there. I don't know if our camera can try to. Oh, it can. Can it go? Oh, yes. There we go. So anyways, let's get into what we're going to talk about before we go on a whole spiro. Sofia, originally it was supposed to be you and Ximena both on this segment. Then one of our mics went out. So impromptu. Thank you, EIC. She's nodding. I promise she's nodding. Anyway, Sofia, you came back to Student Media and Publications right after taking a semester off. That came after you finished an internship at the Dallas Morning News. And as you told me this morning, there's some more news about your personal career that you definitely like to share. Totally not putting you on your spot. Future employers, this is her LinkedIn. And I don't know what else professional things you have, but anyways, spill the beans.
Yeah, of course. Well, thankfully, I'm happy to announce that my next internship for this summer is going to be in Austin with Texas Monthly. So, any Texas Monthly readers, hopefully you'll be able to catch some of my stories there.
What a plug.
I know, man.
Here's confetti. There's confetti. Congrats, Sofia.
Thank you.
So tell us about your journey. Starting in journalism a couple of years ago, coming to the Prospector, and then getting to intern for the Dallas Morning News. What has your journey been like?
Of course. Well, I mean, unfortunately, it did kind of have a rocky start. So the high school that I went to, the early college high school that I went to, didn't really have a strong journalism/yearbook program. So, I was kind of dilly-dallying, just writing whatever, like not knowing nothing about AP style. And then the summer after I graduated, so the summer of 23, that's when I decided to kind of fully plunge into journalism. Because even then when I did yearbook, I was kind of wishy-washy about journalism. So I joined the summer of 2023, still kind of dilly-dallied, didn't really take it too seriously. But once the fall semester came, which is the fall of 23, that's when I realized, like, hey, this is kind of cool. Like, I think writing and interviewing is a much more, fun thing than I had anticipated. And then from there, I had been able to move up from just a contributor to a staff reporter, and from there, web and copy, and as you mentioned, sports editor for about a year. So I think definitely getting my start here at Student Media did really help kind of give me a launch pad to eventually go into the Dallas Morning News. But of course, I could say that, it was just the fruit of my efforts, but I think definitely it's also, the people who helped me along the way, including students like you guys, but of course,
Students like us, not us entirely, just like us. Well, not you, Adrian.
I know, man.
But that's a diss towards us.
I'm like, you passed the vibe check, but we're not cool like that just yet.
That's a diss. So I worked with Sofia for around a year, and I don't even get credit. None whatsoever.
I'm sorry. Shout out to Sebastian Perez-Navarro.
Who was writing all the sports articles back in the fall of 24?
That's fair. That's pretty fair. You know what? Yeah. I'll say like you then. I'll give you a specific name bomb. But just the different people along the way also did help kind of help me want to get more of a passion with journalism.
So now you went from the Prospector to Minero Magazine, EIC, editor-in-chief. How has that transition been like? Now you get to look over all the stories. Now you're in control, basically.
Yeah. So, along my journey with Student Media and Publications, I did eventually dabble into both Minero and Prospector at one point. But I think what I really, truly appreciated about Minero was kind of just, the different types of stories that you could write with Minero Magazine. Just because I found out that I'm not a breaking news person. Employers, I'm sorry. You will never catch me in breaking news. But no, it's been super fun just to kind of, grow into that position. Because I think way back when I first started, an editor-in-chief told me, when I was just barely starting out, he told me, he was like, hey, I think I see you in my shoes one day. And I was just like, oh crap, like I just I just started journalism. What do you mean I'm going to become editor-in-chief? And yeah, so I think it's truly a position that I really appreciate. And I think, shout out to my girl Ximena, I would never be able to do Prospector. Man, it looks hard. So shout out to my girl Ximena. But I think what I really like about Minero is that, I have a more closer bond with my team. And I'm also just able to talk to them and grow with them, all within the newsroom.
You hired a guy named Joaquin Madrid who I went to high school with. Here's a photo of me and Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Why do you call him Joaquin?
There's so many nicknames we have for Joaquin. We have Joaquin. Just kidding, just one. Well, we spell it kind of weird though. I'm like, I'll send you a picture. There was this one Chick-fil-A worker that spelled his name like Wuakine.
Joaquin.
That's not how you spell my name.
Joaquin. Yeah,
Joaquin.
So phonetically correct. I mean, I'll give it to her. But yeah, so shout out Joaquin.
So what made you want to run for Minero EIC after having started with the Prospector, spending most of your journalistic career at UTEP over there?
Yeah, so I mean, I think definitely with the previous editor-in-chief, Adam Regalado, I was really able to kind of start to appreciate Minero and the what it works for and what it does. And then I think from there, Marco Hinojosa, which was the spring previous editor, also really did help me propel myself into what I guess magazine style writing. I think what I define as magazine style writing versus newspaper writing is just like the more, the stories that you could kind of soak yourself into more. And again, like unlike breaking news, just kind of the stories you have to get out pretty quickly. And so, yeah, with those two experiences and some experiences I had at the Dallas Morning News, although they're newspaper, I really started to appreciate, stories where I could take my time and really have fun with the storytelling. And so I think from there, like I said previously, like when the editor-in-chief way back when told me like, hey, I see yourself in my shoes, I think, after taking that break and learning how to grow with myself and grow as a leader, I decided that right now was my time, and right now was the perfect right now I was in the perfect position to go for editor-in-chief and be able to successfully run the magazine.
So, Sofia, who do you miss from Prospector and Minero Magazine who have already graduated?
Oh,
who have you missed the most?
Oh, man.
Disregarding Adam, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. Well, Adam's pretty up there. Oh, man. Well, okay. I'm gonna preface with this. I still see Alaida Muela and Jess Garcia, which were the previous arts and culture editors. I still see them pretty often, so they're not in that list yet. But definitely, oh man, Allison Rodriguez, which is like a freaking legend at the Prospector. Thankfully I was able to get my start with her, and she's one of the people that I could attribute my just journalism comfortability levels, because I worked with her when I was first starting out. And thankfully over the summer at the Dallas Morning News, which she works at, I was able to really grow and really get our chain even more linked, if that's how you say it.
Chain even more linked.
I don't.
That sounds right, right?
We'll fact check you on that.
We'll fact check, yeah, of course. No, we were just able to get like a closer bond, get more tightly knit. That's what I meant. And yeah, so she's great. I, love Allison. She's a great inspiration. And let's see, going down the line, I'm going to feel terrible, like thinking about this at 3 a.m. and like, darn, I forgot that name. But I think, yeah, for sure, Allison Rodriguez and, Salma Paola Baca. She was also G.
There's her photo account. I don't know if it's LinkedIn or Instagram or both. If we have both, we'll put both. Check out her photos. Is that it? Only Salma?
Yeah.
Only Salma and Allison. Only two.
I'm sorry. There's...
No Marco?
Marco's cool. Oh, Marco's great. Marco's great. Wow, you're putting me on the spot here, Sebastian.
I mean...
all love for Marco.
We have to clarify all of this.
Yeah.
Sofia, through your journalistic journey, what has been your favorite memory or an experience that you say, this is why I love what I do.
Yeah, of course. So I think the one that kind of solidified my love for journalism is when I did, well, there's two. Can I give two answers?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when I was working for the Dallas Morning News this past summer, in the summer of 2025, I had this experience where I had interviewed this trio of friends who, started up a barbecue restaurant joint. And the city is called Waxahachie. And it's south of Dallas. And I think with that story, I think the way that I was able to craft it and, just be able to get, these raw emotions from these three men that I've never spoken to before, just about their journeys as friends, which first started out in AA. And then from there, just kind of seeing their growth as friends, up until they opened the barbecue restaurant joint. That was a really special story to me and really helped solidify oh man, you know what? This is cool. Journalism's cool. I love telling other people's stories. And I think what was just the cherry on top of that experience was, a couple weeks after I wrote the story, I went into the restaurant just to eat just on my own terms. And they were like, hey, we recognize you. Thank you so much for that story. It really helped propel us because, Waxahachie, well, that's a lie. Fact checking myself. They were not based in Waxahachie. They were based even further down in, I forgot the city name. But it's with an M. It's with an M. I'm sorry.
EIC, by the way.
No, Drew's Barbecue Joint. I love you. I just forgot. It'll come to me eventually. So just hearing them being like, hey, we really appreciate your story. A lot of people came to us and you were just kind of sharing their own experiences with AA.
Sofia, before you go, I know you basically signed an unofficial NDA, but what can you tell us about Minero Magazine, the issue that's coming out in the fall, the one that you're spearheading?
Okay, yeah, of course. Well, to kind of talk about Minero as a whole, I think how I really wanted to handle the magazine was just produce more content. I think, a lot of people have told me that Minero Magazine has such potential, and I completely agree with that statement. And I think, already marking about halfway through the semester, I'm really, really proud of the stories that we've been able to cover because, a lot of the journalists that I had hired that were completely new to journalism really took pride in the stories that they did. Joe Quinn, Joe Quinn really liked his story. And, my other writers, Diego and Brisa, and, the other people who have written for Minero have really, loved the experience. And that's made me really excited. And I really hope to continue to produce, frequent content. Because now we write, now we publish a story once a week, guys. So
once a week?
Once a week, yeah.
Dude.
It used to be once, freaking whenever.
A millennium.
Millennia, yeah, quite literally. But yeah, in terms of print, oh man, well, I'm super excited for that. Like I said before, I really, really love my team and, love what we're starting to work for in how we're gonna tell these stories and kind of the topics and things we're gonna cover. I think definitely I'm just excited for everybody to see what, Minero, the fall 2026 issue is gonna go ahead and give. I wish I could give you more, but I want to keep it,
locked
I'll tell
up.
you off the record.
She hasn't. Sophia,
No,
congrats on everything you have done, are doing, and will continue to do. We're rolling along episode 3 of the Prospector Podcast. Our EIC is coming up next. Ximena hasn't fired us, nor has she canceled us, despite coming close. We get to talk to her. Stay tuned. You're watching the Prospector Podcast. March is Women's History Month, and today on episode 3 of the Prospector Podcast, we're celebrating it by putting a highlight on women in journalism, and we'd be remiss not to talk to our editor-in-chief of the Prospector, Ximena Cordero. Second straight podcast appearance. You appeared in season 12 on our 10th anniversary. Season 13 twice, I think, for the grad episode.
Yeah.
Definitely for Halloween.
Yeah.
You were dressed as not Tweety Bird. What's the birds? Woodstock.
Insert the image of the thumbnail.
Woodstock.
Oh yeah, the little.
Yep, that it is. It was one of the best episodes we've ever filmed. We nominated it for TIPA, which you're going to. So this episode is either going to release and we're going to be award winners, or we're going to have 0 trophies. Despite that, we're going to continue to do what we do unless I get fired. Adrian Gonzalez, you have co-hosted this entire episode, the first episode that you have co-hosted in its entirety. New accomplishment unlocked.
It's got to be the staff reporter, man. It's got to be the staff reporter.
You get paid, and all of a sudden.
I know, man. I got to switch up on my day one.
You start doing news. You start co-hosting.
Oh.
Moving up in life, man.
I know, man. Imagine showing this version of like Adrian to Evelyn. She would not have believed you at all.
At least you're acknowledging that you wrote all the sports articles back then, right?
Hey, I took your spot basically.
Well, no, because I was writing news and stuff.
I am Sebastian Perez-Navarro to Sofia. Like I'm that to Christian, basically.
I guess so. You know what? You're right. You are right. So, anyways, Ximena, happy National Women's History Month.
Thank you.
So-
You have to pay me $1,000.
What? No, I don't even make that. You make more than me.
You have more jobs than me,
You make more than
but
me.
you have more jobs.
You intern with ABC.
Okay. Well,
He's
Boom.
that was last semester though.
You intern with ABC.
last semester,
You're
though.
making a nice whopping 10 the hour. Boom. There you go. You got me beat. Yeah, I'm 19 hours
What
too.
happened to your 2 other jobs?
They're still there. They're still. So, anyways, Ximena, you applied for EIC back in the fall. You got it in the spring. How have you been feeling first couple of months in, already halfway through the semester?
Oh my god. Crazy to think we're halfway through the semester. Like, I feel like I've done so much, yet like so little. And I think that's a weird like double feeling of like I don't know exactly where I am. But so far, it's been fun. It's been good. I'm really proud of everything we've done so far and how like these last 2 print issues have come out, how the digital issue came out. Just all the stories have been really fun to like read through and see people progress through everything.
Yeah, Jimenez, you've done a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to butter your biscuit to get more money. Or
You've done a great job, Ximena. You know, you'd do a better job if you just promoted me.
yeah, you know, let's talk negotiations. I'm joking, but
Let's
honestly,
see where we are at next semester.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, I was a contributor last semester, and I remember writing my first story as the hockey one. I was like, hey, I think I did a good job. I opened up to like 50 edits made, and Jimena's like, fix this, fix that. And I got humbled big time. And then I see her in person. It's like, that's the same person critiquing my stuff. But no, seriously. So, Ximena, how has it been with the new staff, basically?
Oh my god, I think, well, shout out Evelyn, our last CIC. She left a really great, just like foundation and a
Yeah.
really great team. So I brought back basically a lot of people, and I kind of already had an idea of like who could work and what. So I think it's just been great to see you guys get better. But for the new people, it's fun to see them get integrated and get into the chaos of everything, and also just like shine in their own little ways and find their little place here. Because I think we all have like our own little special place in the Prospector that makes us shine in there. So yeah.
Which role is Sebastian?
The OG. Me and Isaiah. OGs.
OGs.
Been here since Isaiah started with you, actually.
Isaiah started before me.
Before you.
A little, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Isaiah started with Sofia.
Yeah.
So that was back when I was in high school. You started back when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Your second semester coming back, that was my first semester. How was the Prospector like back then in the dinosaur ages?
Oh my god. No, I think it was
Pre-Sebastian.
pre-Sebastian.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yes.
only one semester. So I think for that semester, just because I was new, like, it was so, like, crazy for me. Because, like, yeah, like, it was like, I'm the new person coming in. I don't know anybody. So, yeah, it's a lot different than now because it's a whole different position that I was in. I don't know. It was just, yeah,
Well,
I think crazy.
We can start with this, right? I disagree with you saying that it was nothing crazy because
No, I said it is crazy.
it is, okay.
It was
Well,
crazy.
It was, because when me and Ximena back were staff reporters, I don't think we have our original staff photos from that time. I think we lost them to time.
I'm sure we can find them in the OneDrive somewhere.
If I put in the effort, you'll see them.
Please do not put them here. Oh my god.
Okay, this makes me want to find them.
I was going to say.
We were writing like 4 to 5 stories a week
Yeah.
back then. Look at Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have it good, man. You have it good.
I'll stick to my 2, 3, lose my brain over ice.
You had 3? When did you have 3?
I think it was last semester I did 2. I looked at Evelyn and was like, Evelyn, can I do 2? And she's like, it's totally up to you, Adrian. I think it was the Malachi Nelson story and I think it was football as well.
Oh.
Same week.
Well, it's not too bad.
I know.
Yeah, sports
Compared
ones.
to what I have to deal with now. I don't complain. I don't complain. Please don't give my staff reporter job to Vanessa or anybody.
Two
Please.
stories, huh?
Give me 3, man.
He doesn't know.
3's the top. That's it.
4, 5, 6. I can't say the next number because Sebastian's doing the motion.
Oh no. Not during my episode.
Ah.
It's banned, remember?
You're on thin ice, pal.
Yeah. You're
I-
a thin ice white boy.
I've been on. Oh my.
Have you seen? Wait, I'm gonna send you the little memes of the horses.
Yeah.
You're on thin ice.
I have not seen
I'm gonna
that.
send them to you.
Sebastian's not
But-
chronically online, dude.
Anyways,
Fuck.
Ximena, your history with the Prospector runs deep. Started as a staff reporter, did that for 2 semesters, moved over to A&E, then moved over to Web and Copy, and then after that, you claimed all the way up to EIC. What has been the difference between all those positions?
Well, as you said, staff reporter. I feel like out of everything, maybe besides A&E, that was the most stressful time. Just because, like, yeah, at some point we were doing like 4 to 5. I know one week I generally had to be like, I have like 7 stories because like this got backed up and like these people couldn't get to me until this week and like now I have all of this now, and that was kind of, yeah, I was like,
Those
oh
were the
my
times.
God. Yeah, I think audience and engagement is just stressful because you always have to be like on top of it and on top of like trends and what's happening on campus and like,
TikTok is your
Yeah.
homework.
yeah, it's like you have to be on social media and then call it work, and I think that was crazy. I think now looking back on it though, I appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate what like Gotti did last semester and what like Cam is doing now even more because of that. Web and Copy I think has, besides editor-in-chief, has been my favorite position I've done. Like, again, shout out to Evelyn for putting me there. I feel like I really thrived in that one because writing has always been my heart. So getting to see people's writings and getting to, I guess, like work on it together was really just cool, and seeing how people grew from their first week to the end. I feel like I got to see the other side of what I went through as a staff reporter, in a way.
I was
So-
gonna say, man, you humbled me big time. No wonder you loved that position so much.
Hey, I tried to
But
be nice.
you've seen me evolve.
Yeah, no, it went from like, and it went like that for me too. It was like a bunch of like red marks to like,
Every now
great
and then.
job,
Yeah.
and like fixing little things. And I think that's the beauty of like Web and Copy and editor-in-chief, that I get to see every single thing that goes through the Prospector and just how you guys grow.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get to that perfect right.
Well-
where Ximena looks at it and is like, there's no changes.
I remember my first story. I called her Web and Copy editor, Alaida Muela, Miss Muela, for the first Teams message that you sent me, because my intro was really, really bad. Ximena, how did you get into journalism?
I started technically senior year, I think so. We had a journalism class. It was not very good. I went to a very small school where a lot of people didn't
Name drop?
care.
High school?
Young Women's STEAM Research and Preparatory Academy.
We're just dissing all the high schools this season.
No, okay.
Everyone's catching
Hey,
strays.
there's a lot of love for that school. It taught me a lot. I
Sure?
I love the teachers there. Like, truly, shout out to my teachers if you're watching this. Which they might be, because they actually keep up with me.
Really?
Love you guys. Yeah.
Shout out teachers.
Shout out to my teachers.
We love the teachers.
But, and I made great friends there, too. Shout out Akalia, specifically. But we had a journalism class. We didn't do journalism. We didn't learn any piece. It was just not a very great journalism class. They just kind of put the kids that didn't have any other class to go into that journalism class. That was also yearbook class, where I ended up being editor-in-chief for the yearbook. And then, again, not very helpful staff or not very helpful teacher. So I ended up basically kind of doing a lot of that on my own. And then it was junior year, because the year after that was my senior year, and no journalism class. It was cut. We didn't have a journalism teacher. We didn't have a yearbook advisor. I was doing everything. And our advisor was our principal. So, and of course, principals are busy. She's coming in and out. She's doing a bunch of different things. So it was me, my like 2 friends that I wrangled to do this, and some like freshmen that were like sort of interested in doing it. And yeah, it was like maybe 5-6 people at most. So I made a whole yearbook with 5-6 people.
So close to greatness.
So close. But no. But I think I've always loved the writing. I loved English class. Shout out Ms. Guerrero. But I also was like, I think I like the more journalistic, newsy side of it. Finally ended up applying for the Prospector, which Ms. Guerrero was also part of the Prospector back when she was at UTEP. And yeah, from there on, I just kind of fell in love with it and kept it going.
Yeah. You were meant for this editor-in-chief position. You were doing that in high school. You know, Sebastian's over here yelling at football players in the broadcast booth.
I don't yell at anybody.
Well, you don't yell at them, but you're commenting on them.
I yell for
You're
them.
using your
You
podcast.
used to yell for Cameron Mason.
I did. Here's another cool clip of what Cam did.
How have you guys been able to relate of playing against a powerhouse in your first time on the football field in high school?
The one thing I love about Corby is that he's very competitive, and what we brought to the mindset was that it doesn't matter who's on the field. We want to go out there and play our best, and he's a winner.
There's something cool that Cam did back in high school that was totally different from the last episode that you should go totally watch, by the way. It's here.
Don't.
Go watch it right there. Click on that
Don't.
after you watch this one. Anyways, Ximena, through your journalistic journey, we asked this to Paige, we asked this to Sofia, so it's only fair that we ask it to you.
Okay.
What has been your favorite memory or experience?
Ooh, let me think. I will say I went to San Antonio with Sofia and Joe, Elida. Who else was there? Avery, catching. Yeah, I went to the IRE. I think it's Investigative Reporters, something like that. Shout out IRE. I think that was really interesting. That was before I even took like Gannon. So like it taught me a lot about like data sets and like everything very early on. I think that's when I truly started appreciating like investigative work and wanted like kind of pushed me into wanting to get into investigative work. So I think that's definitely one of my favorite memories. But I will say all of last semester with like Evelyn and you guys was really great. Last semester was like a tough one, but I think I said this to you one time. Hardest semester of my life, but I had never felt like more alive in what I was doing and more happy in what I was doing.
Well, you were being an editor for the Prospector and at the same time interning for ABC7, and you even had a whole video package and everything.
Yeah.
Link is here. Go watch it.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, man. I was the contributor last semester, and I was pretty much the one that was stuck around, even though I wasn't even required to be there. That's probably why I got hired as a staff reporter. He was like, "You're already here, dude. You might as well get paid for it." But
Is that what she literally said?
No, her interview, dude. I'll share the story a little bit. I'll try to make it quick. Nate's trying to rush us here. For our interview, I walked in there with a fever. Like I
Really?
was so sick the night before, and I'm like, let's try to like go through the process of the interview before. Maybe Ximena's gonna like sit me down and be like, "Listen, Adrian, you were good and all, but not as a staff reporter. We're gonna bring you back as a contributor." So I went in there and I parked all the way by the Sunbowl garage. And I'm walking all the way from there to the office for my interview. I showed up an hour late again, or early again. And Ximena was like, "Mia's stuck in traffic, so let's just get your interview done with." And we sat down and we talked about it. She's like, "I want you to grow. I want you to do this." And, I have, thankfully. Ximena has pushed me out of my box. Ximena, what are you the most excited for your upcoming semesters as editor-in-chief?
So for the rest of the semester, I think we get to do, one of my favorite issues, which is the arts and culture / fashion issue that's coming up next. So I'm really excited for that one. Abby's our arts and culture girl, so I'm sure it's going to be great. So I'm really just excited for that one. I'm excited to see what the grad issue is going to put us through. That one's always the hardest, but I'm ready for it. I'm like mentally preparing for it already. Yeah, I'm just excited to keep seeing how it grows, see what else we do, see what else I do personally, like what happens with me and everything afterwards. And yeah, just seeing who keeps on being at the Prospector and who keeps on growing and who, I think the thing I wanted to take into the semester is at some point I'm not going to be here. It's going to be here long after I'm gone. But I'm excited to see who's next and what the next team is. And hopefully I get to be somewhat part of their journey and I hope to inspire them at least a little bit.
Ximena, congratulations on being the leader that you are. And congratulations to you for watching the full episode 3 of the Prospector Podcast. Your attention span is better than most people our age. Anyways, from this entire table, a huge thank you to Adrian Gonzalez Jr. for co-hosting this entire episode. Full co-host and everything, man. Congrats.
What a different man from last semester.
Thank you to Paige Wood, to Ximena Cordero, and to Sofia Sierra for joining us on episode 3 of the Prospector Podcast. And a special shout out to Nate Flores, who is directing today. Nate, congrats on directing, making his directing debut, and doing camera for us is Aaron, who's one of our work studies. He was in one of our episodes. We'll flash back to that now. This is Aaron. He's one of our work studies.
We got coffee.
Hello, y'all. Hello, y'all.
Now he's doing the camera. I wish you could flip it on yourself, but it can't. So here's a photo of Aaron. So there we go. You'll need to send me a photo, Aaron. And thank you to you, the viewer. Please subscribe to the Prospector YouTube channel. We are so close to 600 subscribers. Please hit subscribe. Send our channel to your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, anybody in your family, your uncles, your tios, anybody. Please, we're so close. Please subscribe. Anyways, from this entire table, my name's Sebastian, and we are over and out.